This week on Gymwright Live, I'm interviewing me. I'm going to walk you through my morning routine that I've been crafting and tweaking for several years now that effectively prepares me for a very productive day. But before we get into that, I'd like to give a warm thank you to Sitewright.io as our official sponsor for this show. Every gym owner deserves to have a great website. Now there is no excuse not to have one. Upgrade your online presence by going to Sitewright.io. Also, if you are watching the show on Facebook right now and you would like to get free access to our free private Facebook group where you will find tons of great conversations, live weekly Q&A sessions with yours truly, and a step-by-step how-to of some of the most effective strategies out there for gym owners today, simply type the word join in the comments below and you'll get access right away. Plus, this will set you up to receive a weekly reminder of whenever we go live for the show so you never miss an episode. You're welcome. All right, let's get this party started. Hello and welcome to this week's episode of Gymwright Live. I'm your host, Marcus Gursey, and this week I'm going to be walking you through my morning routine that will help you set your day up for success and hopefully just help you get to your goals faster. Now, today's episode is going to be kind of short and sweet because this is a concept we can obviously expand upon quite a bit, but it's really down to a few basic points, and I'll let you kind of take it from there. So let's start with why a morning routine is so important. So if you've done any research on how to become more effective, whether that's in business or just personally, you have undoubtedly come across people talking about their morning routine and how key it is for them every day to help them prime, right? And I have consumed countless hours of books, courses, podcasts, and the like over the years, and it is the number one commonality across all the top performers that I've learned from, whether that was through books or in person. Everyone tends to have some sort of morning ritual to help them start their day. And for me, for many of my initial years in business, I didn't do any of this stuff. I really kind of thought it was a little too woo-woo for me at the time because I simply didn't understand what it would do for me until I tried it. So when I began implementing a morning routine, and even though it was way rougher and simpler back in the day when I first started, I saw a huge breakthrough in my performance overall, and really was kind of the turning point of me really kind of trying to figure myself out and my place in my business and how do I really kind of break through from working my butt off to, getting to where I wanted to be. It was that time when I implemented that routine that I really started to get traction. So my hope today is to walk you through what I do and kind of explain the kind of the thoughts behind it. And hopefully that inspires you to implement something similar or maybe take what you've got and take it up a notch. All right, so let's get right into it. So my morning routine starts by waking up pretty darn early. I like to start my day at 5 o'clock every day. It's the only way for me to get ahead of the time zones. I work with people all over the world. Plus it lets me get ahead of everyone else in my home, my 2 kids and my wife waking up, so that I have a few minutes to myself to kind of have some peace, because once the kiddos get going, good luck. So I wake up super early, and the first thing I'll do is I'll either go out and drink some room temperature water, or personally for me, I like my greens drink as first thing. So I like Athletic Greens. It's kind of a way to just kind of check in with myself physically and just kind of, get myself woken up a bit. From there, I go into a brief 5-minute or so flow of just kind of working through range of motion, shoulder circles and the like, to kind of just wake my body up and again, kind of check in physically. Because otherwise, oftentimes if I'm waking up super early or if I'm feeling kind of groggy that morning, if I went straight into the next couple of steps, I really wouldn't be as present. So I find kind of waking my body up before I start any of that stuff is a great place to begin. Some people actually like to go into a full workout. I actually started doing Max Shank's 5-minute flow years ago and kind of adapted it to my own version now. But that was a really helpful tool for me. So shout out to Max for that. So I do about 5 minutes of some basic flow to kind of check my body in. And then I do 1 cycle of Wim Hof breathing. Now, if you are familiar with Wim Hof, they suggest 3 rounds, 5 rounds, if you want to do the full deal. For me in the mornings, I don't really need to do that because oftentimes I'll end up doing later on in the day when I actually go train later on in the afternoon. So for me, just doing one cycle to kind of wake my body up a bit. And it helps me kind of prime my mind a little bit. I just feel a little bit more awake after I do that. So one cycle of Wim Hof breathing, and I modify it a bit to where I don't do just the 20 seconds or 30 seconds in the initial hold and then the max hold after. I actually do a max hold for both the exhale hold and the inhale hold. So I kind of get a little bit more out of it. After I go through that cycle of Wim Hof, I now go into my first real exercise of visualization. So I do the perfect day visualization. And if you've worked with me in the past, this is something I've been teaching for years. And long story short, the perfect day exercise is where you're going to sit down, you're going to write out what your ideal day in the future looks like, from where you live to your routine, what you do throughout the day. And it's an exercise in you basically writing out from beginning to end in very visual detail what that ideal day looks like. So you create that. And during this part of my morning routine, I have memorized that. And initially, when you first do it, you may need to kind of have it as a cheat sheet. And it kind of starts off as kind of like stills, like you're almost like going through like still pictures of your day. But the more that you do it, pretty quickly, it starts to become much more three-dimensional, much more fluid, and kind of ends up becoming more of almost like a virtual reality game because you start to modify and kind of live in that visualization because it becomes more detailed. And what's happening there is your mind is taking this from this someday maybe concept and turning it into a memory because you practice it every day. Right? You can do a whole bunch of research on visualization, see why that is so powerful. But long story short, what this does is it makes this ideal image that was previously a very nebulous concept to a very detailed, very specific experience that we go through every day, which makes it feel like this is something I already do. I'm already that person. I already live that life. And now I just have to make sure my actions match that, right? You can liken it to what often, let's say, a successful lifter trying to set a new record or PR would do, right? You think the first time that someone's getting under that bar and doing a 500-pound back squat PR, to set some sort of record for themselves, you think that's the first time that they're visualizing it? Negative. They have visualized that probably hundreds of times in their mind, so that by the time they actually get under that bar and go to do the actual lift, it's just another successful lift, right? So we are taking that same concept, we're applying it to our future and the quality of life, what we're doing with our time, how effective we are in business and how successful our relationships are with family, all those things. That's the purpose of this. So what you do is you sit down, you close your eyes, and you basically run through in detail, as if it's almost like a movie, that perfect day. Once you've gone through your perfect day visualization, which should only take a couple of minutes, right? At first, it may take you a little bit longer, but as you start to get good at it, it'll shorten down. And from there now, I sit down and I write down a few things. So I start off with 3 things that I'm grateful for. I write out my goals. I write out why I want to achieve each one of these goals. And I do that from a few different angles. I do that, why do I want to achieve this for myself personally? Why do I want to achieve this for my family? And then why do I want to achieve this for my business or the purpose of whatever I'm trying to do here? And by the way, don't cheat. Don't take it and just read what you've written previously. Write it from scratch every single time, because the exercise of having to think it through and write it out is going to, again, make it more real. It's a little bit deeper, has a deeper effect. So write the 3 things you're grateful for, your goals, why you want to achieve them in those different categories, and then write what you need to do in order to get there. For this piece here, you could just journal. A lot of people do the 5-minute journal. I love that thing. I've actually recently integrated that in as well. It's kind of expands upon the whole gratitude concept and affirmations. I really like it. Good place to start. But I think these other key things are actually going to make you more effective than just, kind of feeling good going into the day. So definitely write down the goals, why you want to achieve them, and what you need to do. From there, once I have that written down, I now pop open my calendar and I basically audit my day. So this is where I want to make sure I'm going to look at my day and I'm going to see, does this day reflect what I just visualized and what I wrote down, right? Basically, is there anything on here that is going to get between me and my goals? And if so, it's off the list, right? So-and-so with coffee in the afternoon, I really shouldn't be doing that because I have nothing on here to do my sales follow-up or to do whatever your priorities are. Those things need to be on there first. You need to make sure that your day has an action item for each one of your goals. And as you get better at kind of mapping your week out, maybe it's one goal per day, different things, different categories, but make sure you have those action items, something to move you closer every single day to those goals that you just wrote down. And what's going to happen is you're going to eliminate that other stuff. You're going to make your days far more productive. And like I said, remove anything that might slow you down. So that's the core routine. Now, if you're listening to this and you're like, yeah, that all sounds great in theory, but I've got to get up and coach class at 5:30 in the morning. I get it. I started this then when I was doing the same thing. I would have to get up and drive almost 30 minutes up to my gym and open for a 6 a.m. class. So I understand. You can still do this routine. It is worth it. The extra 15 minutes earlier that you have to get up, it will pay dividends because it will move you to your bigger goals faster. If it's really that important to you, you can handle an extra 15 or 20 minutes in the morning. You don't have to start super heavy, start simple. But as you start to implement this, you will likely, like every person I've ever shown this to who actually follows through, you will start to see how radically this will change how you feel about your day, how you perform in your day, which starts to build that momentum towards your goals. And oftentimes what you end up doing is very quickly saying, how can I expand on this? How can I do even more? Because what I do now, I have a longer version. So I have kind of my more condensed version, and then I have my longer version. So I'll explain that now. So something I've been doing the last several years at this point is after I go through everything that I just did, I do 60 to 90 minutes of where I learn something new. So this could be reading, it could be taking a course, whatever, listening to a podcast on something that I'm interested on. And let's say I have 60 minutes. The first 75% of that, so the first 45 minutes of that are going to be the actual learning part. The last 25% is going to be where I'm going to stop listening or reading or whatever I'm doing, and I'm going to write out what I just learned, right? So oftentimes you'll see these scribbles behind me on the whiteboard, and it really helps plug me into a very creative mindset. I feel by the time I start my day after this routine, like I kind of want to flip my desk over and ready to crush my day. So start small, build up to it. I couldn't imagine my days now without them. I get up super early just so I have basically almost a couple of hours in the morning to myself before I start my day. It started off honestly at about 5 minutes when I first started implementing this. There's a really good book. I forget his name now. I think Hal Leonard. I might be butchering it. What is it? The 5-minute journal? 5-minute journal, I think it is. Anyway, read it years ago, and it really kind of helped organize and kind of showed me that it was okay to start with a really short routine because even something makes an impact and you can always build up from there. So again, start small, work your way up. I challenge you to do this every day for the next 30 days and tell me that you are not moving towards your goals and just forward in life at an exciting pace. Not to mention, you'll probably feel like $1 million because you have a new sense of control over your day and over your life that you probably haven't ever experienced before. That's what's happened to me. It's happened to many friends and people that I've worked with through our business coaching. So I hope you take something from this today and adapt it to your life. That's it for today. If you have a good morning routine, tell us in the comments below. I'd love to hear it. There isn't really a right or wrong answer. Whatever gets you charged up for your day and gets you focused on your goals and the actions you need to take to get you there, I'm all for it. I'm always down to learn more. So please let me know in the comments. That's it for today. I want to thank all of you motivated gym owners out there for joining us today. And also thanks again to our sponsor, SiteRight.io. Upgrade your online presence today. Visit SiteRight.io to learn more. And be sure to join us in the network, which is our private Facebook group where you can learn from other gym owners and be a part of a positive community. It is a membership that pays. As a member of the network, you do receive 25% off any SiteRight.io plan if you sign up by October 1st. We are going to be making a huge announcement here in a few weeks about SiteRight and some really special stuff that they've been cooking up. So get in the group. You'll learn all about it in there. Anyway, that's it for today. Get out there and build something that matters. I'll see you guys again next week. Bye-bye.